motivations and allow me to articulate an idea. No, so I'm not done speaking. I let you speak for 5 minutes, Matt. Shut the f and listen.
Popular politics and drama debate streamer Destiny messed up big time. He was caught leaking recorded sex tapes of women he slept with without their consent. He is now facing legal and possibly criminal penalties for his actions. You would imagine almost nobody would defend his behavior, but Warhammer 40K YouTuber Counterpoints 40K with over 100,000 subscribers would go on stream to defend his friend Destiny against a smaller creator named Real Smith. This is their confrontation. Okay, so this is Counterpoints, Destiny Sweeper, and this is Smith, Mr. Girl Orbiter. Okay, there you go. All right.
I think that Destiny is a sexual predator, but I also okay. So here's my biggest contention with some of the shit you were saying. I have strong reservations for saying that somebody should be put in jail because I don't like what jail is. Okay, I think that jail should be reformed. I think it's basically like torture, and it's cruel and unusual. And I think we could do a way better job at making the country safe and like preventing people who are a danger to others from being part of society. And while
I just want to say this, the guy on the right, if you think I'm a yapper, you have not heard Counterpoints. Okay. Number one, what he will do is that he will appeal to personal experience. Okay, he'll try to do that to pretend that he's not actually terminally online. He is terminally online, by the way. All right. Number two, he will appeal to politics and philosophy, but in a really cringe way that nobody cares about, okay? So the fact that he does both of these is already pretty bad, but on top of his absolutely wrong opinion making, it's just peak bad, all right? It's just straight up bad. So this is where we're coming from for Counterpoints. Okay, like
strong reservations of the sex offender registry, but that doesn't stop me from saying that somebody should be put on it because I know what it's supposed to be in spirit. Just like it doesn't stop me from saying that somebody should be put in jail just because I know what jail should be in spirit, and there's a place for it. So I'm not gonna I don't advocate for a lawless country, and I think that your critique that Destiny shouldn't be put on the sex offender registry hinges on your belief that the sex offender registry should be reformed, which I agree with, but that shouldn't stop you.
Okay. Should be. So you said that he has a hobby of sharing videos and photos and nudes of having sex with other people. Yeah. Do you object to that as a behavior?
What do you mean? That's a behavior.
No, I'm saying, do you object to that behavior? Do you think that behavior is bad?
Yeah, that's a behavior.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you used, but a lot of people, and I'm not trying to put an argument in your mouth, but a lot of people, they don't object to have, and I agree that it's bad, by the way, having a hobby of sharing videos, photos, and nudes, having sex with other people. They don't care about that at all. They're like, yeah, that's cool as long as everyone consents. That's the differentiation that they make.
Yes, consent. Yes.
Okay, so hold on. So if everybody consented to sharing the videos,
I think Smash should make clear on this point that he is okay with people consenting to recording each other and sharing if consent is given.
Into the life of a sex addict when somebody unconsensually leaks your news. And in particular, in this case, I was saying before we started, but there is a couple orders of magnitude because like of things that make it worse. You can show somebody nudes on your phone, and that's like just that's slimy because if that one person meets the person you had sex with, now they've seen them nude, and that's just not good. But if you send if it was a rando, but once you make them a micro celebrity, now it's like your life is now this porn video. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. We are in like 90% agreement so far. So I wanna ask the next question is, you brought up Whoremaxer. Okay.
I don't know everything about him. I just know that he is named Whoremaxer. He whips his dick out, and he's like a total sexual deviant.
So if I had to guess why you brought up Whoremaxer, it would be because maybe I'm putting words in your mouth. He would be an example of at least a honest, gooner, if not a
honest sex addict,
virtuous, or like
I don't know how virtuous.
I'm making a joke. I'm making a joke, or at least I'm poking at the virtuous pedophile. right? So there was that guy like 5 years ago or 10 years ago who was like, oh, virtuous pedophile. You can be a non-offending pedophile, but you can labeling himself a virtuous pedophile. So with Hormaxer, I would view this as the same thing.
He might actually be a bad guy. Let's just like I don't know everything about him.
Sure,
but so let's just
let's treat Hormaxer as an idea.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's treat Hormaxer as an idea.
Yep.
So you think it's possible for a person to be a sex addict, but to be honest with their sex addiction and basically say, if you enter into this world with me, you are entering into the world of like a sex addict freak.
No, I don't agree that when you for instance, it's like if you enter into a relationship with Mike Tyson, you're not consenting to get punched in the face.
Okay, so even if Hormaxer gives you all of the upfront shit, that still doesn't authorize him to leak your nudes without your.
Yeah, there are gooners out there. There are gooners out there that don't like leak things willy-nilly. There are gooners out there who don't leak things willy-nilly. What is he on about? There are gooners who goon all day, but would not cross that line. Okay, dude. Oh god, dude.
Expert.
Where do you disagree with me?
So far, not much.
Dude, I feel like Counterpoint just wants a platform where he just rambles to his audience. He could just do that on his own time. Like, we're here for a debate, and we can even get to like the point of where they disagree on.
Okay. You're coming up from it within a certain context. You're saying that he's a liar. You're saying that he's abusing people's consent. You're saying that he's manipulating people to sex. I would add to your perspective that he used his position as an authority on sex in order to attract people to himself, in that you could use the term predatory to describe that behavior. Okay. Because you're basically like you're trying to manipulate the field of sex.
Counterpoints describe Steven as a person who is predatory in every single way, but then when it comes to describing Steven as a sexual predator, he couldn't do it. How? How is that possible? Like, over the course, pay attention to his language, okay? He spends the entire conversation describing Destiny as, like, having every attribute as a sexual predator, but he couldn't concede that Destiny can be labeled as a sexual predator. And he has an excuse for that, but the excuse is so retarded. So retarded. That is what made me do this live stream in the first place.
Right. So a lot of people are coming at this situation from a lay perspective. They're saying, we believe that these behaviors are manipulative and deceitful, and that they are giving him an advantage in order to get sex over people who are not operating with the full set of information. I am operating from a law enforcement background, okay? I spent 4 years in law enforcement.
And this is ultimately one of the horrible habits of Counterpoints, right? He will always appeal to his retarded ass personal experience, especially personal career experience, in order to bolster his own point, and it is retarded, okay? It doesn't make your point strong, all right? I would say it's an anecdote, but it is kind of an anecdote, yeah. It's just...
And if I
so
check
bad,
out,
dude.
so sex predator, okay?
Yeah.
In the state of Florida, in the context of law enforcement, which bear in mind, you roll your eyes. I have no idea why you're rolling your eyes. Why are you rolling your eyes? As a matter of fact, let's do the mystical meta conversation.
That is a good question.
Why are you rolling your eyes?
Why? Who cares if he rolls his eyes? Just keep on going with your point.
That's a good question. I think that's a good. So I'm communicating because when you go into in the state of Florida and the context you're saying I'm from law enforcement, you're doing is you're going into like this legalese, like very like literal, and I'm just what you're saying you're doing. You're converting the frame away from my moral argument to a black and white non-human like robotic like argument that really doesn't have like you're.
I don't. Sorry, finish.
And especially with things like sharing of nudes like publicly and things like the power that Destiny has over the people around him. These are things that the law has dramatically not caught up to, only barely has just caught up to like in recent years and not nearly enough. So while it is, I think, illegal, I still think like the law is specifically not even like caught up enough to even talk about it. So I think when you're going into a legal framework after previously you were going from a moral framework where you're saying that like you're talking about sex addiction being bad. So like that I think is your actual human position, and then to deviate away from my position to try to diminish my position and silence me, and then so that your position is the only one, your moral stance is the only one, you're gonna dismiss me using this bullshit legal tactic.
I wouldn't jump ahead.
Sex addiction being bad on the table, your moral framework, where you're trying to dismiss my moral framework because you're saying that law is the only thing that matters. Well, law doesn't have anything.
I don't think I said that.
Yeah, well, you're saying, well, for me, the reason that I'm saying these things is because I'm a cop and I come from this legal background, and so I'm in the state of Florida. So you're not going to say that to dismiss your own, oh, sex addiction is bad, because I could do the same thing. I could say, oh, Connor, I'm a cop, and so really, if we're in the state of Florida, sex addiction is not bad. So I don't agree. Right. That's not bad, Connor.
He is recognizing the pattern.
Okay, so we can have no conversation about what we think is bad. So if you want, when I talk about what I think is bad or what I think is predatory, I think you shouldn't dismiss me in that such a way, because I can do the same exact thing to you.
I don't think I'm dismissing you. I'm asking people to consider multiple frames, so they can consider your frame all fucking day. And if they think,
bro, okay, what is his frame though? What is his frame though? Is he some kind of professional? Like, okay, sorry. Oh my god. If counterpoints was somehow, fucking sexual violence against women specialist, I would understand. Okay. I would understand if you're talking about this. But he uses his experience as a cop in every fucking argument. He does this in every argument. He appeals to his ex-cop status in every argument that isn't even cop-related. It's just not. This leaking nudes thing, that's not cop-related. What? Dude.
I think you are too used to Mr. Girl, or maybe even Queeman style meta conversations. Stop presuming.
By the way, he's not using Mr. Girl and Queeman style meta conversations. He's not. Okay? He's not. Counterpoints is projecting. Alright? He's projecting here. I have not... Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Okay? In all my time listening to Queeman and Mr. Girl, alright? Throughout my entire life, I have never heard them talking about how counterpoints, like, talks about these meta conversations all the time. Specifically. I've never heard of that. All right? He's pulling this out of his ass.
Stop presuming my motivations and allow me to articulate an idea.
Okay,
no,
so
I'm not done speaking. I let you speak for 5 fucking minutes, Matt. Shut the fuck up and listen.
It's not your motivations. It is what you're doing. I'm saying you're Mott and Baileying. Okay, no motivations. No more motivations.
Allow me to move.
No more 2 more frames. Only 1 frame. If you switch frames again, I'm going to call it out again.
No, I'm going... Smith, we can't move forward with the game that you're playing.
The game?
I am allowed... Yes. I am allowed to explain the legal definition of sexual predator and why I would be hesitant to use it in a lay framework. That is 100% something that is relevant to the conversation, is so you're smart to talk about.
So you're saying that we're not allowed to have a lay framework?
You're allowed to have a lay framework.
Okay,
I'm allowed to tell you why it's not my framework.
Okay, but you're...
Bro, oh my god, dude. See, this is one of the things that you need to keep in mind when you're debating counterpoints. Stop getting dragged into legal arguments. Stop. Put a hard stop to the legal shit, okay? Just say, if you're going to be talking about legal shit, I'm out. Because I'm only here to talk about what's right and wrong. And what kind of description we want to apply to Destiny. That's the only thing I'm here to talk about, okay? Yeah, we're not lawyers. Yes, exactly. Exactly. We're not lawyers.
Or do you even disagree?
Is yours the legal framework or is yours the moral framework where you say sex addiction is bad? Which one is your framework?
This conversation is quickly becoming very boring and tedious. Please allow me to articulate my idea.
You're flailing.
Smith, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not flailing. I've been trying to tell you a concept for probably 5 to 10 minutes now. I want you to shut the fuck up and listen to the concept.
Oh,
we already get it.
Incapable. No, we haven't. We haven't even started yet.
You think that I shouldn't be able to have a lay framework?
The fuck up, I'm going to move on with my day. Are you capable of listening for 5 minutes?
Dude, Counterpoint spends more time trying to get to his point than a Dragon Ball Z episode against Frieza, dude.
Audience, but I'm shutting you down and you're flailing.
I'm not flailing at all. I'm trying to articulate a relevant concept, and you are saying you don't even want to hear the relevant concept. If you don't want to hear the relevant concept, I am not interested in speaking with you further. I will go talk to people who are interested in hearing the concept. So you can either shut the fuck up and listen to the idea, or you can object to hearing new information from someone who knows more than you.
I object that you know more than me. I clearly know what you're trying to say. You want to say it again in a way that's more manipulative.
We're not moving on. I will literally wrap my fucking rope around this axle, and we are not moving on. Will you allow me to articulate a concept, or are you going to object again?
Can I tell you what I think you're about to say?
Sure, go ahead.
I think you're about to say that because there's a legal definition of predator, we're not allowed to talk about people being predators or talk about predatory behavior or describe somebody who engages in pattern of predatory behavior as a predator if there is a legal definition.
No one in the history of this conversation has ever fucking said that, least of all me.
Okay, then what are you going to say?
Okay.
Let's see.
Thank you. It took. Okay. So, within the state of Florida, within the legal framework, which I think is more appropriate, sexual predator is defined as someone who has committed a violent sexual offense. The reason why I would not categorize Stephen Bennell II as a sexual predator is because, number one, I don't think that he's committed a violent sexual offense. Number two, someone who has...
He literally just straight up does it. He straight up... Little bro literally straight up does the thing that Smith basically paraphrased before. Dude, I can't.
Subject to vigilantism, where they will be hunted as a violent sexual predator. So if you are calling him a sexual predator, which you have reiterated that you believe this is an appropriate lay definition, then I think that if that idea is popularized, that he is morally equivalent to a rapist, then there is a chance that he will be traveling in public and people will treat him as a rapist. They will at minimum verbally and potentially physically accost him. They will at maximum kill him. And so as a result, I don't think that...
Oh my God. Lil bro.
...of rhetoric.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say
you're saying,
8 fucking minutes ago.
So you're saying that, basically you're saying what I said, but with an add-on at the end of a risk of violence. So if people misinterpret me, then they're going to kill Destiny.
If they think that Destiny is a fucking rapist, then there is a chance that people will physically strike him or kill him.
Right.
Yes.
Well, okay, then let me take this opportunity then.
Do you think
that's already happened? That's already happened. People have already called him a rapist way before this. This is not the first time, and it will not be the last time, okay? People, remember the whole stealthing drama where Destiny was trying to discourse about drama about stealthing during sex, like cutting a hole in the condom or taking the condom off and then penetrating? People was already saying that Destiny was a rape apologist. Like, that's basically one step removed anyway. Like, what are you talking about? If you can't call him a sexual predator, what's the other label you're gonna give him? So if it's not sexual predators, are you just gonna call him a sexual deviant? He is most certainly sexual deviant. Yes, but like, that's not accurate way to describe it, right? Like, you want people to know by a label that he is going to leak nudes of you, right? I don't think... when I think of sexual deviant, I just think of somebody who is into a lot of kinks and fetishes. I don't think of somebody who is into kinks and fetishes and leaks nudes to other girls. That's not what I think.
You have to be so in order, because of that, we can't talk about any predatory people. We can't talk about anybody's pattern of predation, which makes them a predator.
Nobody says that you can't talk about it, Smith.
Because there's some retard in Florida that's going to hunt them down.
Okay. Number one, you being dismissive of it is kind of crazy, considering you don't even think he should be struck. I think he should be struck. And then number two, this has happened where...
Dude. Doesn't Counterpoints have kids? What do you mean he should be struck? Like, physically struck? What are you talking about?
People have used the sex offense registry in order to use it to murder people. They used it because your address and your name is listed on the sex offense registry. So they're like, oh, these people are sex offenders. They're the worst people on the planet. I'm going to go start...
Dude, red flag. Send the CPS after Counterpoints right now. Check on these kids. What is an interesting way to go down this debate, right? Smith makes the argument that you need to be on the list to prevent future harm to future women. All right? And then Counterpoints go, okay, I acknowledge the harm. I acknowledge it. However, the reason I believe Steven shouldn't be on a list is because of potential harm to him that is disproportional to the harm that he is causing. Disproportional to the harm that he is causing. That should be the conflicting argument. These should be the conflicting arguments of an ideal debate. Okay? This is not an ideal debate. An ideal debate would be that. Okay? But now we're going down a lane that is completely uninteresting and boring. It is not interesting to me. So, and another thing, another hypothetical that I have not heard people bring up, is this. If you could rape somebody and get away with it, you can apply Destiny's entire practice to it. For example, let's just say you rape a woman, but she doesn't remember anything afterwards, and there is no physical harm. There is no emotional harm. There is no physical harm. She doesn't remember anything afterwards. She wakes up randomly, and she's like, oh, well, I must have passed out. Little does she know she has been raped by Destiny. In that scenario, would that be okay then?